RSA, C. diff, those type of organisms that you need. Two things. The gown goes on first. One of the best ways to ensure that it's on properly is to pre-tie the front so that it goes over your head and you don't have to tie it behind your back. If you're very proficient in doing that, you can do it that way, but it's usually just generally easier if you do it this way. It goes on, you can't have any gaps towards the front, you have to be entirely covered. The strings need to be overlapped in the back, and the strings need to be tied in the back. If you're extremely skinny, and a lot of people double tie it in the front, you cannot. It's considered the dirtiest portion of the procedure, so it has to be tied in the back.
Darlene's so proficient at it, she's already done. How is everybody else doing?
It just, I do this 100 times recently. So no gaps in the front, back is covered, down to your
in the front,
wrists.
Parker.
Obviously you washed your hands, etc. prior to doing this. The next thing you're gonna put on is your gloves. Actually a face shield, sorry. The face shield's not necessary for regular contact unless the patient is on droplet as well, or if you're having extreme close contact with the patient, which I don't believe you will be. You'll be having a conversation. Extreme close contact is usually less than 3 feet. So standard precautions, which is level 1 PPE, this is discretionary, but we want to make sure you know how to use it anyway.
What about, is there reverse isolation?
There's no such thing as
That's why
neutropenic precautions or
heard that.
reverse isolations
That's
anymore.
what I'm sure.
On occasion, I have seen physicians write for neutropenic precautions, usually at the patient's request, and what that really is no flowers and no balloons. That's not reverse isolation, and standard hand washing. Right? So you put your mask on, put it behind your ears, and you go from the top of your cheeks towards your nose and press gently so that you don't end up with a tent. Years ago, it used to be nose out, now it's from cheek in. And you get a nice seal and under the bottom. Very good. So next is your gloves. The idea is for the glove to go over the bottom of the gown. One thing you can do is sometimes I hook it underneath my thumb just so I can get it in
No,
quicker.
over.
It goes over the gown, which sometimes can be cumbersome, especially if you don't do it all the time. So a lot of times I just hook it over my thumb and then I release my thumb once it's in there, just because it's easier to get the gown in. It's more proficient, and since I do this quite often.
Can you get a close-up of Darlene's hand? That's interesting, look at that.
It's just an easy way to hook it in, so that it ensures that it's underneath without keep going around, because especially depending on the gloves that you're using, it can be harder. Nitral's really easy, the latex a little bit easier, these are more difficult. And then you're ready, you go in, you have your conversation with your patients, fill out the menus, whatever it is that you're doing. Doffing is the most important part of the procedure, and this is usually where people self-contaminate themselves. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to remove your gloves. You don't want to go underneath for the first one. You want to tent it, roll it into your hands here. The other hand, yep. Then you go underneath because that's considered clean. You pull it over, you dump it in the garbage. The next thing is you untie your tie, or if you pull quickly, it makes a little snap. Now you're gonna swim. You take your hand, you put it close to your chest, you pull it down, you take this hand, put it close to your chest, and you pull it down so that the dirtiness is on the inside. You pull your hands out and you only touch the inside of the gown. And you pull the back off, you throw it in the garbage. Oftentimes at this point, I hit the Purell and wipe my hands down because I'm now going to touch the dirtiest, the most orifices are on your face. So I usually wipe with Purell, 15-20 seconds in between, and then I go, you take one string from behind your ear, you pull it off, put it in the garbage. I then Purell my hands again, and leave.
And then wash